This video is made for adult collectors because don't you love when you go and water the grass in the morning and then it rains anyways? Fantastic.
Pile of dead bodies, more like a pile of dead blockies. I'll go see myself out.
I was lukewarm when they revealed this, cause it looked spot on, but I didn't really have the biggest desire to get one of these outside of work-related reasons. This video, actually. But once getting this thing in hand, it's quickly becoming my favorite Voyager of the year. This thing is a lot of fun. It does quite a bit of stuff. Not to mention it's solid as a rock and fun to transform. I have the original figure somewhere. In all the shuffling around, I don't know where it's gone, but it was an okay figure. This though brings it up to a whole new level. But there is one thing that people don't really like about this, and that's the parts forming heads. Honestly, I'm okay with it because it's nicer than the originals having like bits hanging off. Plus the original had the arms of the Minicon going into the chest as plungers for the faction swapping gimmick. But this figure proportionally looks a lot nicer because it doesn't have the spring loaded gimmicks. And then there's also the fact that Hasbro's prioritizing articulation over springs, and that springs are expensive because Hasbro's, well, cheap. All that to say, I'm okay with the Minicons coming apart. They do a lot, but I'll talk about them more later. Figure time first though. This surprised me. It's extremely well built for a modern day Voyager. Everything is pretty well enclosed, save for the gaps on the thighs, which don't bug me, but I know they will bug some. I've never much been a fan of this sideways design, preferring both the Cybertron and Revenge of the Fallen designs over this, but this figure makes it grow on me. I very much like this shade of purple. Something about it feels very early 2000s. That mixed with the shade of gold and the black. Like I said before, it's pretty solid, but there is one portion of the build quality that is a wee bit annoying. The shoulders. It doesn't happen all the time, but you move them around sometimes and they can just pop out of place. He's also very articulated for a boxy Voyager based on an old toy whose only articulation was flailing the arms about. The knees only go 90 degrees, but you can unclip them from their like locking place and then you get a full knee bend. That combined with the range on the hips and the head means he can get super low to the ground and he can look even more sinister. He has his missiles, which on the original were part of the Minicon gimmick, but here they can come out to be sticks so he can thwack you with them or play the drums or something, I don't know. And the base head sculpt is pretty nice. It's not a tube like the original, so there's some depth to it with the gold face and the blue visor and the handle ears. That's such an interesting place to store the handlebars. The Minicons are pretty neat too, though they have the faces just staring at you at the front, but the original was like that too, so whatever. They don't do much, just one has arm articulation and the other has leg articulation. But separating the arms off the gray guy and then the legs off the black one and then doing some flips and pegging them together means you can combine them into a larger Minicon and then his smaller leftover son I'll get to later. And then splitting this in half, they can become alternate heads. You open the chest up, fold the base head away, and then close everything back up and peg one of the headmasters in and bam! You have the good guy or bad guy heads from the show. And I don't know which one's which, so you're just gonna have to deal with it. Also, the instructions make it look like you have to fold the head down this way. Don't do that, because if you do, it presses the symbol flipper and just pops it straight out. Just fold the head all the way down. One of my friends also showed me you can take the little bits and combine them together to make a goober. I am so glad they included this gimmick. It would have been real dumb if they didn't. I remember when they first showed this figure off, and there was absolutely no mention of the headmaster gimmick until Nate eventually went back home and then showed us you could do it. I don't know why they were so weird about that. It's not even included on the back of the box. Given how they do the back of the boxes now, I can see there not being enough room, but it still feels odd that it's not there. Well, at the end of the day, this is going in the recycling anyway, so who cares? The faction symbol on the chest can flip. Whoa. That was a second attempt at that line too. The faction symbol on his chest can flip around manually, but it kind of looks like shit. I don't know how they printed mine, but it's all sloppy on the Decepticon side and it just is weird. Like I alluded to earlier though, he is quite posable for something this blocky. I've been having so much fun with this figure. It's really, really interesting to move around. It's like the way they've spaced out the limbs with the way the hips are done. You can get them so high and like the shoulders. This is annoying. It's really only this side. This side is fine for the most part, but this side comes off every single time. If you hear any pitter patter outside, it's pouring. So the head is on a ball joint. You don't get very much tilt out of it, which is a little unfortunate. You can rotate his head left and right. The handlebars do bump into the wheels at the back here, but the handlebars can move. So you can rotate the head like that and get the handlebars down so you can get the head to go further, which I like. And then just if you want to take advantage of this transformation hinge, you can pop this hinge up, right? That's the port for the headmasters. And then you can, you know, have them look all the way down that far if you want to. You can also look all the way up, which is great. But if you're getting into like really low poses, you can sort of move this joint around to position the head this way to get some really nice head tilt out of it. If you want to just like make him look really creepy, you can do that. So I like using this hinge a lot when it comes to posing. These shoulders, they can do a full 360 degrees. They can go out. You do have a bicep rotation as well as a single jointed elbow that bends like a hair under 90 degrees. The wrists are on ball joints, so you do get a bit of a wrist swivel there, as well as a tiny bit of shifting, but like this panel does get in the way of that. It does have a waist joint, which is great. The hips, they can go forward all the way. They can go back all of the way, and they can go out. They are soft detented when they go out too. Like you can see the detents right there. Now, when you have the waist rotated like this, the leg will only go out about that far because of just the torso getting in the way. But this one will go even further now. There it goes. You do have a thigh rotation. You have that single jointed knee, and then if you want to, you can unclip that to get that double jointed knee, which I think looks fine. There's a bit of a gap there, which might bug some people, but I don't really care. And then the ankles, they can't go up and down, and I really wish they could, but he does have ankle tilt and ankle rotation. So sideways is an extremely posable figure, and I very much enjoy that. And then we have the little stupid Minicon. This is the double stack one, the combined one, because the little guys, they don't really do much in the way of posing. This one, no head rotation, but he can look up. You know, you can flip it all the way up and have the other head if you really want that, but no, that's the proper head. These shoulders are on ball joints. They can do a full 360. They can go out. You have ball jointed elbows, so he bends at 90 degrees and has a bicep rotation. If you move this face down, there is a waist joint. The hips can go forward. They can go back. They can go in and out. You have a 90-degree bend at the knee and a ball joint, so you have a thigh swivel. Then the feet can go forward and they can go back. So for a teeny tiny little Minicon, he's extremely posable as well. And that's just made this entire set very, very fun. I have not, it's still on my desk downstairs while I'm editing this. I love this thing. So the robot has won me over. It's really fun and super cool to look at. The transformation takes notes from the original in where everything ends up and how it kind of gets there, but it feels more elegant and refined now, save for one of the pegs which almost broke a fingernail trying to get out. So the headmasters are not needed for this. They can go over here. The bike transformation is a lot like the original with more steps to it. And I haven't messed with the original in quite a while, mainly because I can't find it. So to start with, we're going to open this section up and fold up the hands. We're going to do that on both sides. That hides them away quite nicely. Then we're going to take the shoulders and just bring them back out here for now. Then we're going to get the head, unpeg it, and open this section up and rotate this 180 degrees and just bring it up here for now. Then you want to fold the head on that ball joint back and bring it forward, and then just fold the handlebars down just to get them out of the way. Now what we're going to do is the wheels. The wheels are interesting. They come packed separately and they are on 5mm pegs. So you can take these and like, I don't know, we can give it to Power Glide here. And you can hold a wheel if you want to. So you can use those as like weapons, but I find that every once in a while they push themselves out just because they're on 5mm pegs. And the nature of this is the more you move it, the more it comes out. So that is something just to be careful of. But you do swing those out and around, and then you bring them around to the front like that and get all that lined up there. And that's the wheels basically ready to go. Then we're going to take the arms and we're going to rotate them 180 degrees at the bicep swivel. And then you want to take the legs here. So you want to fold the feet like this and bring them in, then fold this up. And then it's going to combiner wars itself into place. I don't know why that was a struggle. Then you close this up. This side's a little bit different. So you do the same thing, right? But there's this little thing right here you want to fold out. It's very tight, very hard to do. I'm gonna rip my nail out, hang on. You want to fold out this little like locking tab, and then you bring these together and they will slot into each other while also slotting into this little like strip right here. There are these two tabs at the bottom here by this wheel. They don't really tab into anything, they just sit in these little gaps here. You then bring the arms down and they're going to peg together, and they're going to peg into the underside of the vehicle mode and just sort of hold everything in place. Now the front wheel, you take this piece, you unlock it, you bring it forward, then you bring this section down. It's going to tab into the side and into the top of the wheel arch. And that is his motorcycle mode. It's a very fun transformation to do back and forth. That's a bike with massive saddlebags. It was the one thing my dad commented on until I told him that's the legs folded up. And yeah, he's right. Them saddlebags are enormous, but I have seen bikes in real life that are like that. So hey, I guess it fits. But I enjoy this bike mode. It doesn't have a lot of new sculpted detail or paint exposed, but all the colors and panels move around very nicely to conceal the vast majority of the robot. For something so simple, they did that really well. I love how the feet become an extension to the seat, and I really like how the gun beat stick, breadstick thingies become exhausts. Part of me does wish that there was some engine detail just in the midsection there. It's pretty bland otherwise. And all of me wishes the kickstand could could fold away. It's permanently stuck down, and while that makes displaying him easier, I know they did that to save on the parts count. How much? One more piece, guys, come on. The combined Minicon can sit itself in the bike, and damn, that looks like a child on mom and dad's motorcycle. The Minicon is too small for the bike. It looks a wee bit disproportionate, but I still really like that the figure can do this. There is just a nice hand feel to the bike mode. Everything stays in place, and giving it a shake, nothing wants to fall out. It's just one solid ass Voyager. It's up there for my Voyager of the year so far, battling it out with Thundercracker for that spot. There's so much that this does and comes with that of course I'd recommend it. Granted, if you don't like having to take the Minicons apart, I totally get that. But if you're like me and that doesn't really bug you, then I'd say grab this. It's a lot of fun. But that's been my look at Armada Sideways from Age of the Primes. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.